Hello and good morning to everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful Yontif. The pasuk says in Perak Gimel, pasuk Zayin of Shir Hashirim, Hine mitaso shel Shlomo, shishim giborim savivla migiborei Yisrael. The bed, the mita of Shlomo, had surrounded it 60 strong members of Klal Yisrael. The Gemara tells us that when the pasuk uses the word Shlomo in Shir Hashirim, it refers to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And based on that understanding, the pasuk would basically be saying that the resting place or the bed of Hashem was surrounded by 60 strong members of Klal Yisrael, which refers to the 60 groups of 10,000 people, 600,000 people in total, of Klal Yisrael who surrounded the resting place of Hashem, which is the Aron Kodesh, in the Midbar when Klal Yisrael was camping in the desert. And that's one approach to that pasuk. The Gemara in Sanhedrin on Daf Chaf uses this pasuk, however, in a completely different context. And there it's describing the kingship of Shlomo HaMelech. And it says that Shlomo HaMelech ruled Batchila originally over the entire world, Misofa Olam ad Sofa Olam. Ulu Basov, however, in the end, he only ruled over Klal Yisrael. And it brings a pasuk to prove that. The Gemara then continues and says, Ulu Basov, and then Shlomo HaMelech did not rule over Klal Yisrael. He ruled just over Yerushalayim. And it brings a pasuk to prove that. And finally, the Gemara concludes, he then did not rule over Yerushalayim, he just ruled over his bed alone. As the pasuk says, Hine mitaso shel Shlomo. The only thing that was l'Shlomo, to Shlomo, the only thing that he had ultimately was his bed, was himself, that was it. There is a famous story which I think sheds light on perhaps a possible explanation to what this Gemara is referring to. The Gemara, there's a story about a person who says that when I was younger, I set out to change the world. And after I was doing that and working on that for weeks and weeks, I realized that it was not working. And I was getting so frustrated, I decided I'm just going to change my country. And I was working at that and trying to do that. And it also did not work. And I decided I would just change my town. And after some time, when I saw that too was not working out, I decided I would change my family. And ultimately, I was met with unsuccess there, and I decided I would change myself, because that's really the only thing that I could change, was myself. And I've heard it suggested that perhaps that is the idea that the Gemara may here be telling us with our pasuk of Hine mitaso shel Shlomo, that the progression of the maturing person as they realize that trying to change the world and trying to change the people in our neighborhoods and trying to change our families and the people in shul, all those things, we think if we could change those things, then everything would be settled and my life would be fantastic and everything would work out as is. And the Gemara is saying ultimately, Hinei mitaso shel Shlomo, that the only thing that Shlomo HaMelech really had rule over, so to speak, and that we all have rule over, is ourselves, and that's it. And sometimes people have these grand plans, but at the end of the day, in order to affect real, meaningful change, which probably would ultimately make our families and our shuls and our cities and the world at large a better place, it has to begin with us, with ourselves, affecting change in ourselves, and that ultimately will then spread outwards and bring the change elsewhere as well.